How big is Nantucket? Where is it?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. Oh my God, I can't say that word.
Massachusetts. No, it's quite hard.
Massachusetts? I mean, yeah.
One more time, try it.
Massachusetts.
No.
Wait, what is it?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
One more time.
Massachusetts? Oh, now I'm thinking too hard. Now I'm thinking too hard about it, so I'm making more mistakes. Forget it.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Forget it.
If I can say it with my finger.
Oh my God. Forget it. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to Hit or Miss Hallmark Movie Reviews. Today we are reviewing Hallmark's third Spring into Love movie.
Already?
Yeah, and so far the track record has not been great.
No?
I don't think so.
Well, let's see if this one changes that.
Yeah. Today we are reviewing
Blind Date Book Club, starring Erin Krakow and Robert Buckley.
Yeah, Erin, she's like Hallmark royalty at this point, I think. Most well known for One Calls the Heart, definitely. And Robert Buckley is from The Christmas House.
The writer here is Nicole Baxter, we know her. Some other credits include Aloha Heart, A Pinch of Portugal, and We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
With Palaha. The director here is Peter Benson. We've seen him in front of the camera quite a few times, but some other directing credits include The Wedding Contract, When I Think of Christmas, and Just One Kiss, which is the Broadway one that we really like. So, what's this one about?
A bookstore owner finds love and direction in life after agreeing to review a famous author's new novel in her blind date with a book club.
Okay. Concise again. That wasn't IMDb though. I think the bad streak has officially been broken.
Fair. Yeah, I definitely.
Yes.
I mean, I knew that within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, me too. And as such, I think this one deserves a deep dive.
Well, let's do it.
All right.
We'll bring on the spoiler synopsis.
Graham is a successful writer known for his young adult series Parachutes for Beginners, which basically seem like a sci-fi chicken soup for the soul and certainly aren't shy about straight up ripping off names of existing sci-fi titles. He shows his agent Terrence a draft of his genre-hopping new book entitled Treasured. Terrence suggests that Graham maybe stay in his own lane and that he wasn't even sure of what genre the book was in.
It sucks.
Graham explains that it's not a traditional romance novel, but
Historical literature that happens to be written around a love story. Still sucks.
Terrence tells him that it's not a good fit for the publisher or for his already famous name. Graham completely ignores his agent's advice and publishes the book himself under the pseudonym Dylan Turner. Graham immediately prints many hard copies of the first draft book that he showed to literally no one but his agent, who hated it.
1,000, please.
As Graham drives away from the printer with his box of books, he accidentally tunes into an intriguing little NPR podcast hosted by Raina Bream, Hallmark's answer to Cinda Canning, where she is interviewing a local Nantucket bookstore owner about her blind date with a book club. Meg, a former real estate agent turned bookstore proprietor of Mimi's Bookstore in Nantucket, meticulously wraps books in brown paper, preparing them for the delivery to her shop. These are the books for her Blind Date with a Book Club initiative, whereby patrons purchase these mystery-wrapped books that also include a little personal handwritten hint on the cover. Each week, the patrons come back to engage in lively discussions about their literary discoveries. Graham is taken aback and enlightened by the club and by Meg's poise on the podcast and instantly charts a course for Nantucket so he can hijack Meg's cute little program and use the book club members as his own personal focus group for his unapproved, unedited, but fully printed and published manuscript. Graham shows up to the dock just as Meg is arriving to pick up her aunt who is visiting. The two awkwardly pose for a photo op after a French family mistake them for a couple, and G takes off. Meg's aunt arrives and tells Meg that they need to talk, but it can wait until tomorrow. Graham arrives to the bookstore under his guise of Dylan Turner and asks Meg if his new book could be considered for her blind date with a book club. Meg says she's already dealing with a backlog of other authors' requests, but Dylan, shoots her the old puppy dog eyes and she says she would consider it. Terrence calls Graham to make sure he is working on the next book in his already profitable YA series and not gallivanting from dock to dock with a box of bad ideas, but Graham brushes him off. Meg meets with her aunt Renee to hear the big news. Renee wants to travel while she still can and would like to liquidate her investment in the bookstore in a month or two, leaving Meg with some hard choices. Keep the bookstore she loves and struggle, or go back to real estate and struggle. That night, Meg reads Treasured, and the next day she meets with a very eager Dylan Turner and tells him that his book doesn't really fit her ideal kind of romance story.
It sucks.
He corrects her and says,
It's not a romance, it's historical literature that happens to be written around a love story. It still sucks.
He He then decides to reveal his true identity as Graham Sterling, and Meg's thirsty, starstruck aspiring writer co-worker Alice convinces her to give his new book a shot for the club. Meg submits and wraps up the book. Meg and Graham begin to grow closer as he attends other blind date book club events, all the while receiving valuable input from Meg on his book.
Make less suck.
They also kiss 30 minutes into the movie. Wowza! The time arrives for Dylan's book to be discussed. Meg goes through her entire wardrobe looking for something to wear until she finally picks something from her trusty When Calls the Heart collection and heads to the bookstore. Graham shows up but doesn't reveal that he is the author. After a few bad reviews of his book, his cover is blown when one of the members recognizes his picture on the back of his YA book. Meg gets called out for promoting the book because of her relationship with Graham, leaving Raina and the club members disappointed and questioning her integrity. Amidst all the chaos, Meg announces she is selling the bookstore. The book club is done for now and everyone needs to leave, including Graham. After a tearful night, looking at old pics of her mom and aunt opening the bookstore, Meg changes her mind and keeps the bookstore. Graham ends up reading the overly positive reviews of his YA books and finds newfound motivation to finish the 8th book in the series, much to his agent's glee. He shows up at the bookstore, Meg tells him she's keeping the bookstore, and they kiss passionately in the bookstore amidst the pages of the greatest works of literature and historical literature that happens to be written around a love story. The end. So this was a narrative that I think was echoing the charm of You Got Mail, sprinkled with a touch of Sleepless in Seattle.
Honestly, it's just about falling in love with a book. Not caring if it's meant for a particular age or gender or what shelf it's supposed to be on.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, all that is just
Marketing.
With a dash of contemporary film that we just watched, American Fiction.
Yeah, definitely.
Which we really liked.
Now that's a combo.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like about this one?
This very much felt like a Netflix rom-com.
Well, maybe like Netflix light.
I mean, a small independent bookstore in Nantucket. I don't know, can you even think of anything more hygge than that?
Hygge? Is that like IKEA in Nantucket?
Yes, hygge. Hygge means creating a warm atmosphere and enjoying the good things in life with good people. Cozy. Being cozy.
Sounds like a marketing ploy.
Anyway, I think we have an interesting story here. I adored the idea of wrapping up books in brown paper to conceal the covers and just, adding like a small little log line or one-liner to capture someone's attention, enough for them to pick up the blind book.
Yeah,
Such a great
cool.
idea. I thought it was so cool. And I think like bookstores and maybe even libraries should adopt that idea.
Yeah, I would definitely instantly join a book club like that.
It's so fun.
We also have well-crafted and developed characters, great writing with some natural, authentic, flowing banter, a more than satisfactory ending, a lovely location, which is obviously in the West,
Langley, BC.
and just an overall sweet premise.
Yeah. I love a narrative that centers around books, in particular a bookstore, but that doesn't have a lot of other plot distractions around it, like, Love and Jane,
Yeah.
for example. I thought the leads were fantastic. I thought they had great chemistry. And I thought the side characters were interesting enough to support the main story. And,
Yeah, there's really only like a few of them.
Yeah, but they gave the bookstore this kind of like life, For the most part, I think everyone talked like normal adults. No baby talk.
Why would you be expecting baby talk?
No, hello. Why would I be expecting baby talk in Hallmark movies? No immature, over-the-top dialogue. Just very authentic, genuine manner of speaking. And I like that.
Yeah, the dialogue was excellent in this film. The opening scene with Graham and Terrence didn't really feel like a Hallmark movie at all. Like, that was a really good opening.
Yeah.
They really captured like the playful relationship between writer and agent pretty beautifully, I thought.
Yeah, and it was a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. This truly was, a charming little world that was crafted here. Well, I really loved the last line of the whole movie. Well, maybe there's something to this blind date book club after all. Because that's the first time she actually says the name of the movie and not blind date with a book club.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, why don't we get to performances?
I think it's rare, but every character is simply just really good here. Pleasant, likable. As I said, the chemistry between Meg and Graham, I thought, was there. And it wasn't sickly sweet. It's sweet, definitely, and they have one slight high school moment by her door, but it was very nice. So anyway, my standout is Robert Buckley. He's so naturally charming without trying too hard. He's lovable and he's got a bit of a goofy side. He's cute. I really liked him in this.
Yeah, agreed. I first want to shout out Daniel Bacon, who played Terrence, the agent. And Daniel's up there with like the best of Hallmark's sidemen. He gets like a lot of screen time, but you never really get to know him. But I feel like he was given more of a personality with this role.
Yeah.
And I thought he was great. I laughed at a few lines he said in the intro.
He was good.
And now I know his name, Daniel Bacon, and I can stop referring to him as Black Billy Joel.
He does look like Billy Joel. Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Billy Joel now, right? The older Billy Joel.
Yeah, Billy Joel now. Krakow was also great, and she has to be like the calmest, most collected, like even female lead in the roster.
So calm.
Yeah,
and such
she
a
doesn't
deep
have
voice.
she doesn't have super highs or lows, but she's rather easy to watch.
But I don't find her. I don't know. Maybe she could be borderline boring, but
possibly, yeah. I mean, you could see that, but she generally gets into stories where her character supports it, and there's nothing entirely exciting about a bookstore owner, right?
No, I know. No, she played it well.
But yeah, my standout is also Robert Buckley.
Nice.
He's got this like kid on Christmas morning quality to his eyes that like never seems to go away. It's just always
That's
there.
True.
And I, for one, would like to see him much more. Especially when it's just him that gets to be the center stage.
Me too.
I loved him in the Christmas House movies, but it's really hard to pull the camera focus away from Jonathan Bennett.
That's
So
true.
it's like,
He's kind of a scene stealer,
Yeah.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way, yeah.
why don't we get to Nit Picky, Hit Picky?
A hit, a Pulp Fiction reference in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, it kind of flew by. I mean,
It did. It fell under the radar a little bit, but I picked up on it. So Meg's coworker says, Pulp Fiction is taste, not a measure of talent. And she was saying, like, you know, what do you think of that statement or whatever, right in the beginning. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah.
Nit, why the hell would Meg sit Raina directly beside Graham at the
That's
the thing?
true.
It seems like
Yeah.
a huge mistake.
Yeah.
It's like wear a hat or something. You don't
Sit in the back.
You don't think that like a best-selling author that's that good looking isn't gonna like draw some attention? Like people wouldn't already know what he looks like?
That's true.
Guaranteed.
He should have maybe sat in the back and she sits
He shouldn't
in the
even have
front.
been there.
Well, I guess so. That's the whole argument. Nit. It would have been nice if Graham had spoken up at book club meeting. I would have liked to hear him talk about books and give like constructive criticism on books.
Yeah, I
thought
guess.
that was a missed
but his whole
opportunity.
thing was being a fly on the wall and getting like the
No,
people
I
as
know.
a panel.
I know.
You know?
Hit. The meta Hallmark moment.
Meta.
There is a moment where the book club members are giving their reviews of the books, and it sounds exactly like some of the things like Hallmark is accused of or described as. We've definitely have said some of these things.
The pacing felt off.
I feel like the pacing was way off.
Sounds like a bore.
She didn't even read the book.
I thought it was kind of fun.
I don't know what it's trying to say.
The motivation was flat.
Is it warm in here?
Yeah. Hit. The car VFX, it kind of, I didn't really notice until the second watch, but probably some of the most realistic car scenes in a Hallmark movie we've ever seen. It either, I don't know if they had some front projections on the windows, so the street was going by. I was like, well, they don't usually do that, that's new. Or he was actually driving, but I don't know. It was actually hard to tell. Which is insane for Hallmark.
They could have very well have used a green screen, but I think they framed the scene so well.
They had a green screen in the back, but then they
didn't
drew your attention away from it. Yeah, it's like, you know.
That was smart.
Even in Hollywood movies, green screens in cars don't look great.
No,
or in
I
TV
know,
shows,
I know.
They usually look pretty shit.
But this was smart because they framed it so that you didn't see too much out the back window.
Yeah, you only get the sense of it, and you get the movement, and then the reflections
front,
really,
the reflections,
really helped. Yeah, I thought that was really
That was
well
awesome.
done.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah.
Why don't we get to the Hallmark report card?
Let's do it.
Promotion or deadline?
Yes.
Yes, obviously.
Career-driven lead.
Of course.
I would say for both, right? Yeah, they're both passionate about what they do.
Big misunderstanding.
Yes, but not for long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Change of heart.
Yes.
Yes, and I think it refers to more of her deciding to use his book. I think she was into him the whole time. I don't think it was a change of heart of like, let me love you now, or let me. So you know what I mean?
There's no change of heart with him.
Yeah,
he's kind of like a perfect dude.
Yeah, like the minute he came in, you could tell.
The perfect rich and nice dude comes in, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I think she was into him right away.
Someone gets dumped, fired, dies, or quits? No.
No. Second romance subplot. Yes, the two book club people get together.
Yeah, that's cute. Proposal or wedding?
No. Travel issues? No.
Selling the house, business or farm, bookstore? Yes.
Yes.
Possibly.
Possibly, but she doesn't do it, but yes. Big city, small town transition.
I'd say yes.
Yes.
They almost kiss.
No. Early kiss.
Early kiss. Yo, Krakow always early kisses. She can't wait.
It was good. It was good. The Mad Dash. No, he just kind of shows up at the bookstore.
And you got this.
No, I don't recall
You know what's
that.
funny? I'm starting to see it so much in other shows and movies.
Yeah,
now,
like
too,
last night.
All the time. So, did Blind Date Book Club hit or miss the Hallmark for you?
This was a hit for me. I really enjoyed it. I
Me
thought it was
too.
good.
I kind of knew it was going to be a hit right away, and it held through, and it's definitely a hit for me.
Definitely check it out.
All right, let's get to our thing from last episode. Name that location, answers.
Yes.
Now,
okay.
we don't actually have both the answers.
Okay, that's fine.
So for Name That Store, one person answered, user IW3CZ4MP.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Guessed Lights, Camera, Christmas, which was also our guess, and it's also correct.
It's right, yeah.
We'll show the side by side here.
Oh, okay.
As for Name That Kitchen, it's still open. We couldn't find
Jury's
it,
out.
and the jury's out.
But we think it's from Dream Moms, right?
Yeah, we thought it was from
Oh my
Dream.
goodness. Well, thanks everybody. Let us know what you thought of Blind Date Book Club in the comments below. Did it hit or miss the Hallmark for you?
And we'll see you for the next Spring in the Love movie.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the little bell.
And we'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.